Hello, everybody. It is your girl, Presh, and I'm back for another video. So, without further ado, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get to this video. But don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell button so you never miss a video. And if you are new here, hi, hello, welcome. If you've been here before, what's good? What's up? How you doing, though? I rocks with y'all, rocks with you. Don't forget to do what? Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell button, and share my videos wherever you see fit, and let everybody know you rocks with your girl, though. So without further ado, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and get to this video. So this is going to be a movie review. I haven't done one since I did the review on Beauty. I think that was the last movie review I did. Oh, y'all know I hated that movie. Anyway, y'all. So this is going to be a movie review on the movie Elvis. Yes, the movie Elvis that came out in June. When the hell did Elvis come out? That came out June, July, whatever Elvis came out. But I just recently watched it last night. On streaming service, a streaming service. And so I got thoughts, feels, opinions, and all type of stuff about the Elvis movie. But first and foremost, I want to give a shout out to Austin Butler. He did a phenomenal job as Elvis. I will give him his props for that, because watching the movie, I will say I didn't feel like I was watching somebody impersonating Elvis for a movie. I felt like he embodied Elvis for this movie. And I have been watching videos of his interviews and stuff, and learning that he took 2 years to learn how to speak in Elvis's cadence and his accent, and to perfect the tone of Elvis's voice and things like that. So he did a damn good job, and it took him 2 years. Of course, they did have to shut down, of course, during the pandemic, and he got even more time to learn more about Elvis and make his portrayal even more authentic. Something that I found out from watching reviews and things after watching the movie was that Elvis and Austin both lost their mothers at the age of 23. So you could kind of say that it was kind of like a meant to be in an odd way. You could say that because Austin knows that feeling of losing your mother at a young age, and so his portrayal of that was perfect, if you will. But I will say there are things about this movie I didn't like. I mean, it wouldn't be a review for me if we didn't have things we didn't like, right? Right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So first and foremost, the thing I do want to touch on is the fact that, there's always been controversy around whether or not Hound Dog was originally, Elvis's song. Of course, it was originally recorded by a black artist called Big Mama Thornton. And of course, if you're black, you learned this from watching the movie Dreamgirls. And, in the movie, they did show a small piece of Big Mama Thornton singing the song. And of course, if you heard the little track, they showing like the previews of it for the soundtrack, they kind of like remixed it, I think, with Doja Cat, whatever that girl name is, for the movie soundtrack, whatever the case may be. But me being me, I did my research and found out that it's always been said that Elvis didn't steal the song, but that it was presented to him by songwriters, and that they didn't take the song from Big Mama Thornton. Whereas Big Mama Thornton had released a song 4 years prior to when Elvis released his version. And in the movie, they touched on the fact that Elvis heard her sing on Beale Street in Memphis, Tennessee. So I feel like they sort of kind of gave us that insinuation without actually saying it. So, yeah. I just, I feel like they were insinuating a lot without actually saying it. So, I mean, I won't say they completely didn't touch on it, but they gave that little inkling, like he heard it here, and then that happened. I mean, one could say, argue the fact that, gonna play devil's advocate, that, he covered the song because, a lot of artists during that time, they would hear songs, whatever, and they cover it, whatever the case may be. But, him being a white artist, he got more notoriety for these songs that were sung by black artists, which was something that was touched on in the movie by BB King when, in the movie, we see a young Little Richard singing Tutti Frutti. And, Elvis is like, man, I want to record this song or whatever. And, BB King tells him, you'll make more money off that song than that kid ever will. Also, R.I.P. to the architect of rock and roll, Little Richard. So yeah, also rest in peace to the actress who played Big Mama Thornton in the movie, because apparently I read online that she actually passed, I want to say a month or two ago. And I believe she was a Memphis native, so rest in peace to her. But yeah, so they didn't really touch on it a lot, like thoroughly, but they gave the inkling and the insinuation that Elvis was, he liked to take, or whatever the case may be. Something I didn't actually know was that BB King and Elvis was homeboys, or EP, as you know, a lot of people referred to him in the movie. I didn't know they was homies. I did not know that, but of course, they both were born and raised in Mississippi. But Elvis grew up more in, Memphis, Tennessee, and that's where he got his start, his break, and everything like that. So, but the bond and the brotherhood that him and BB King had, I like it because, BB King is one of my favorite, blues, soul musicians. I love me some BB King. So to see that, BB King actually had like this friendship with Elvis kind of broke down that narrative that's always kind of been built around Elvis. And, if you black, it was the whole he didn't like us situation. So, also, the whole Elvis always said that the only thing a black person could do for him was shine his shoes or something like that. I did my research and found out that that was a rumor that was started, that Elvis had actually never said that. So, I feel like this was something somebody may have started to stop Elvis for getting the full support from the black community. Because, I think that might have just been what it was. What else I want to talk about? Oh, fuck Colonel Parker. All days, always. Fuck him. He is a scamming ass scammer. I mean, of course, he introduced himself as a scamming ass scammer. Speaking of the beginning of the movie, I didn't really care for that whole extra animated shit they was doing at the beginning of the movie. I didn't really care for that. All that whirl around and all that CGI animated shit, they could have kept that to themselves. But fuck Colonel Parker for what he did to Elvis. Also, fuck Elvis regular ass daddy for not actually having his back and choosing to be his father and not thinking about the business and not doing what's right for his son. So fuck Elvis daddy and fuck Colonel Parker. Priscilla parents. Now that lady grown now. She's 70 something or another. But when she was 14, why the fuck was y'all letting her date a 24-year-old? Can we talk about that for a minute? Can we talk about it? Like, the fuck? The fuck? Like, don't get me wrong. I know all girls, when we're between the ages of like 12 and 14, we want somebody older than us. Okay? I know this. Okay? When I was 13, I was in love with Chris Brown. He was 16. But, really? Like, I know, but I was even younger than that. I had a thing for Usher and El Cool J, but I knew I wasn't gonna be with them people, like. But for that 14-year-old to have been in a courtship with a 24-year-old is just crazy as hell to me. Granted, I don't think that they were being physical, because that's a little nasty, but it was still the idea that he had fallen in love with a fucking 14-year-old. Like, you're 24. The fuck? the fuck? The whole fuck. The whole fuck. That's a child. That's a fucking child. Anyway, of course they wound up getting married when she was 21 and I think he was like 32. So she was a legal adult when they got married. But the beginning of that relationship was just no ma'am. Side eyed the fuck out of her parents. Cause where the fuck was her parents? Where the fuck was they at? But I do feel bad for Priscilla, you know, further down in the movie, and the fact that, you know, as you know, he got to Vegas, that's when shit hit the fan for them. And, you know, the Elvis we, you know, heard about in, you know, his later years with the drugs and all of that started to come and play, but that was shit that I felt like was because of the carnal fuck ass. But I'm not gonna give too much away for the movie. I do feel like after Elvis's mom passed, I mean it's not really a spoiler because clearly his mom was gone. I just told y'all that. But I feel like after his mom passed, Elvis was kind of like lost because he didn't have the one person who always had his back, and she like in a way kept him grounded, if you will. So once he lost his mom, he was just out here solo dolo, if you will. I mean, even though he always felt alone, but at least he always had his mama. You know what I'm saying? And once she was going, his support system, like his main, like his North Star, if you will, was gone. Like his physical North Star here on earth was gone. Like he was lost. And I felt like the Colonel took advantage of that, knowing that he was a motherless child out here. You know what I'm saying? But this movie, of course, showed what most music biopics have showed us, that these artists are young and naive and they want to be put on and they want to share their art with the world, and they trust the wrong people, and those people then fuck them over when they tell them, I got your best interest at heart, and at the end of the day they actually fucking don't. Like we learned this with the TLC biopic, you know, what Pebbles did to them girls. We learned this with the New Edition biopic, what their record label had did to them. You know, we learned this with who else biopic? The Five Heartbeats. We learned that Big Red was Loki fucking them over. You know, even though that was based on multiple groups and not real people, but you know, who else had a biopic out and we learned like they was being like fucked over music wise? But like that's something we learn with these music biopics, that you know these artists are being taken advantage of when they trust these people, you know, to have their best interests at heart. And of course, once again, these people are I'm not gonna necessarily with Elton John's movie, it wasn't necessarily his label, but his manager fucked him over. And with Elvis, it wasn't his label that fucked him over, it was his manager. And so that's kind of like what you get with these biopics. You find out either it was the label or the manager, or sometimes the manager who happens to own the label. So it's like it's a fucked up place to be, you know. And you in the movie we learned that, you know, the Colonel was like this. Let me tell y'all something. Tom motherfucking Hanks did a damn good job portraying the Colonel, because I hated the dog fuck out of this man. Like I wanted to fight the Colonel multiple times during this movie. Like I wanted to fist fight this man multiple times during this movie for the fucked up shit he was doing to Elvis. And the way that he kept trying to control the narrative of Elvis's life and argue him down about what he saw fit, because he thought he was right in every situation. And it's like, this is this man's life and he should have the right to choose what he does with it. Something I didn't like is that Elvis never actually got to travel the world. Like Elvis literally only has during his short period of time here on this earth, that man was only ever here in Hawaii. Like the states. Like Elvis has never traveled outside of the United States other than to Hawaii. He never got to go to Japan like he wanted to. He never got to go to Europe. He did a whole nationwide tour here in the States. He, you know, the Carnal, you know, did the very first ever broadcast televised live satellite concert that Elvis did because, you know, he was a fucked up individual. I'm trying not to like spoil the movie for anybody who, you know, hasn't seen the movie, but the movie came out I think 2 months ago. So, but it's really hard for me not to spoil the movie because I do want people to watch the movie and enjoy it for themselves without feeling like spoiler alert. But what I will say is fuck the Carnal. Fuck the Carnal, fuck that daddy, fuck them. I do feel like this is not really a spoiler alert because the man clearly has been dead for damn near 50 years. But I do feel like had he listened to Priscilla and went to the facility she was telling him about, he might have lived a little longer than what he did. Because I feel like in Elvis's later years, he was depressed. I felt like with his mom not being here, him, you know, not having the one person he loved more than anything in the world, Priscilla, in his life, you know, him having to deal with the Colonel and the fucked up shit he did to that man, his daddy really not being there for him like he should have been, like him basically being stuck literally like a prisoner at that fucking hotel. Elvis became depressed and he was ready to go. Elvis was fucking ready to go. And it's sad. Like, the end of the movie is very sad. Because, you know, he dies. Not a spoiler. We all know the man dies. But, I will say, shout out to, again, Austin Butler. Because, fun fact, he sung the majority of the songs for the movie. They did, I want to say, like, in the later part of the movie, mix Elvis's voice with his. So, you know, it was like him singing, but we heard more of Elvis in there, even though, you know, Austin really did work really hard to sound like Elvis. So shout out to him. When Elvis was singing Trouble at the little thing with him and the police, let me tell you something. Bitch, I was like, ooh. Okay, I understand why the bitches throw their drawers at you, Elvis. I understand now. Okay, I understand. Okay, I just think Elvis a little pussy. Okay, I just a little bit, just just a little bit. Now if people have took it, I don't know, but I just split him stuff. Okay, it was a damn good movie. I give it an 8.5 out of 10 simply because I didn't like the whole whirly woozy shit they were doing with the Colonel. In the beginning of the movie or whatever the case may be, the fact that I felt like his story was told, but I felt like there was still I felt like something was missing. Just something. It was something missing. I don't know what, but for what they did give, I have to say that they did a damn good job with telling his story to where it didn't feel like they were. It didn't feel like Austin was impersonating Elvis. He embodied Elvis. Austin did what Jamie Foxx did for Ray. Austin did what the cast of New Edition did for the New Edition movie. They became these people. Like when you watch the New Edition movie, you don't see Elijah Kelly. You see Ricky Bell. You don't see the boy from Empire. You see Michael Bivins. You don't see Keith Powers. You see Ronnie DeVoe. You don't see the boy who now in Power. You see Bobby Brown. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see Luke James, you see Johnny Gill. Like, you see them as the people they're portraying. You don't see what's his name, the LG boy. You see Ralph Transvant. You know what I'm saying? When Angela Bassett became Tina Turner for What's Love Got to Do with It. When I was younger, I thought that's who that was. You know what I'm saying? She embodied that role. You know what I'm saying? To where she became Tina Turner. Lawrence Fishburne became Ike Turner. Austin Butler became Elvis Presley. Jamie Foxx became Ray Charles. Like, when actors can take real life people and embody them so much to where you can't separate the two, they did a damn good job. Because if you watch the New Edition movie and you go back and watch like certain things that they recreated for the movie and go see the real thing, them boys was on point. And the same thing with Austin and the Elvis Presley movie. Like, it's this I think it's like 2 or 3 performances he did where I actually watched the side by side last night on YouTube of Elvis and Austin, and literally that boy embodied Elvis. He fucking became Elvis. Like Tom Hanks said, like, it was literally like watching Elvis. We were at an Elvis show. It wasn't an impersonator. We were at an Elvis show. And that's what Austin did. Austin became Elvis. So hopefully he gets all the awards come award season. You know, I mean, I know a lot of people say it's just an honor to be nominated, but I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I feel like Austin should be nominated and maybe win something. Tom Hanks damn sure should win something because I wanted to fight him. Like, that wasn't Tom Hanks. That was Colonel Parker. Because Colonel Tom Parker I wanted to fight. Not Tom Hanks. Colonel Tom Parker is who I wanted to fight. He fucking did that. They did that. This was a damn good movie. Like, again, you know, the things I, of course, had problems with was the CGI, the fact that in real life, Elvis was out here dating a 14-year-old. You know, Connor Parker ain't shit. That daddy ain't shit. You know, we didn't really touch on, you know, Elvis's borrowing of the black community. You know, I mean, he did show love to the community. You know, as he got a little older, he let it be known where his love for music came from. And we did get to see that, you know, Elvis did basically find his love for music in a black gospel revival. So, growing up down there in Mississippi. So, I will say that this is a damn good movie. Like, I haven't watched many Elvis, I guess, bio movies, because I think it's a couple. But this one being the first one I ever seen, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Go watch it, y'all. Go see it. I believe it's still in the movie theaters. Yeah, y'all, it's a damn good movie. If you want to watch it while I watch it, go ahead and DM me on IG or whatever and be like, bitch, where you saw this movie at? If you follow me on Facebook and, you know, you see me post the link and you decide to watch this movie, you want to watch the movie while I watch the movie and you're paying no money, and you want to, like, bitch, where you watch it at? I'll go ahead and slide you that information. Yeah, y'all, but that is my review on the Elvis movie. That is all. That is it. I did thoroughly enjoy it. Fuck Colonel Tom Parker. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say it, but fuck him. Rest in peace to Elvis. You know, yeah, rest in peace to Elvis. Shout out to Austin Butler. Shout out to Tom Hanks and the cast crew. Everybody involved with that movie. It was a damn good movie, y'all. And I know y'all might think it's kind of fucked up that I'm like praising this movie and I talk Cash Money shit about that Beauty movie, but that movie didn't give what it was supposed to. That movie was trash. So yeah, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell button, share my video wherever you see fit, and let everybody you know you fucks with your girl. Though, yeah, y'all, that's all. That's it. Love you. Bye.